It's Shalander, who, as a qualified doctor, ought to know better than to recommend the Gerson diet. That's an expensive and unpleasant treatment involving 6 coffee enemas a day and has led to a number of deaths in America.
Well, it's pretty hard, but if you really set your mind to it, you know, if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be, and within a couple of months you'll know how you're doing.
I mean, but can the diet actually sort of effect a cure, or are we sort of kind of...
Yes, you see, this is a strange thing, really. I mean, to lots of doctors, it's a total anathema. The diet alone can cure cancer.
That's news to Professor Gordon McVie, an oncologist for the Cancer Research Campaign.
If I knew of a doctor who claimed to cure cancer by manipulation of the diet, I would ask somebody in high places to investigate that claim.
There's more cause for investigation at Liongate. Dr. Shalander also advertises oxygen therapy, a controversial treatment that again has led to deaths in Europe and America.
In other words, I would say yes, it is possible to improve cancers or even cure cancers completely through approaches other than prevailing at hospitals. But when I say that, I have to be very, very fuzzy, because if you quote me, I'm in trouble.
Dr. Shalander, my name is Roger Cook from Central Television. I want to know why it is you are claiming to cure cancer. You are claiming to cure cancer. We sent a patient into you and filmed you secretly while you claimed that the Gerson diet administered by you would cure cancer. You also said, Doctor, that if we quoted you on your suggestions you could cure, you'd be in trouble. Well, Doctor, you are in trouble.
Jumping from an upper-story window.
I don't cure.
Emergency services say
I don't claim to cure.
You did. We have you filmed.
Well, let's show me the film and I'll show you.
No, we don't have to show you the film. We have you filmed claiming to cure cancer. And this, remember, is exactly what Dr. Shalander said.
It is possible to improve cancers or even cure cancers completely through approaches other than prevailing at hospitals.
You've also been involved in the use of oxygen therapy, which has killed people on the continent.
No, it's not true.
That is true. That is an official statistic.
Anyway, I need to start working.
Start work making more false claims?
Sorry?
Starting work making more false claims?
I never make claims. When I see patients with cancer, I say specifically that I am not allowed to make any claims.
No, you actually made the claim and then said, if you quote me on these claims, I'm in trouble. Those are your very words.
Well, nothing I can do about what you're saying, because I have no means of defending myself.
Giving false hope to people is probably the worst thing you can do to a cancer patient, isn't it?
Don't make such claims.
Well, you made claims on film.
Well, I would like to see that.
Well, you will see it on Thursday night. You have made such a claim.
Which program is it on?
On the Cook Report at 8:30 this coming Thursday on ITV.
Okay, thank you very much.
Dawn's now on her way to see Derek Wolfe, the man who claims to have introduced the controversial oxygen therapy to Britain.
I give injections during this HOT therapy, which enables individual cells to take oxygen on board better.
In fact, it's killed at least 10 people in Europe, with practitioners there being prosecuted and fined. An eminent toxicologist and campaigner against quack medicine condemns the practice.
We all know that there is a great risk of embolism and thrombosis, because this extracorporeal treatment of blood bears a significant risk, and as you all know, embolism might directly be responsible for the death of human beings.
A ground floor flat in North London was Dawn's next stop. It's the home of one of Britain's most dangerous quacks.
This is the original, because the other guy in Mexico, although he is copying this, there's still something missing.
Elizabeth Marsh was jailed last year after claiming this imported chemical cocktail cured cancer and AIDS.
3 times a day.
And now Mrs. Marsh is claiming it could also cure Dawn's leukemia.
You know, for some people, it's worked for them. For others, it hasn't, perhaps for the simple reason because they've had too much chemotherapy or radiotherapy.
The man who last investigated Elizabeth Marsh is alarmed that she's back in business.
I did not come across one person who had been cured by taking cancer, nor did I come across anyone who had their condition improved by taking this particular substance.
One of Marsh's ex-patients, professional singer Alexander Hood, visited her with catarrh. Her diagnosis was both disturbing and incorrect.
Catarrh I had, definitely, but she immediately said I had a pre-cancerous condition of the lungs and the bowel, the gallbladder and various other things like that, and actually I thought, good gracious me, I didn't think it was that bad, you know.
It wasn't, and Alexander dispensed with her services after coughing up £130. Others weren't so lucky. Julia Fitzgerald had ovarian cancer and turned in desperation to Elizabeth Marsh. The romantic novelist paid £500 for a course of treatment that included yet another dubious medicine.
She was phoning Marsh, and there was a lot of black bits in the vomit, and Marsh was saying, well, this is great, this is absolutely great, because these are the cancer cells, and you were vomiting them all up. And at the end of that week, you'll see that the vomit will clear, and it will cease, and you will be well again.
And what did happen?
What did happen was she died at the end of that week. She'd vomited so much, her body was so drained, lack of sleep, lack of everything, the fact that the cancer was there, it had never gone, it was never going anywhere, it was there to stay, and she died.
Elizabeth Marsh has doubtful qualifications to suit every occasion. She has certificates that make her out to be everything from a professor to a doctor or a reverend. These documents wouldn't impress experts, but they do help con vulnerable and dying people into believing that she is somehow qualified and knows what she's doing.
We all thought that she was a registered homeopathic practitioner, a doctor. She called herself Dr. Marsh. People should definitely be protected from people like Elizabeth Marsh.
Sentiment shared by the British Homeopathy Society, who disown Mrs. Marsh and condemn her activities.
Mrs. Marsh is a con artist, second to none, and the public needs to be protected from people of her ilk.
Dawn has now travelled 1,000 miles in her quest for a cure, increasingly relieved that it wasn't her stepdaughter Amanda visiting people like Elizabeth Marsh.
They should be behind bars. It's just, it's just despicable. They are just, they're just evil. Evil. There's got to be something done to stop it.
Hello, come along here. Hi, right.
Major Gordon Smith of Wincanton in Somerset has a budget plan for curing cancer. For just £28 a month, he says he'll beam out radio waves to break down Dawn's supposed leukemia, the same radio waves that almost disabled our sound equipment.
I've got a filing cabinet downstairs with several thousand people in, animals, who have got better, mainly. The success rate.
Actually cured the cancer.
In some cases, yes. In other cases, somebody had an operation, a series of operations saying breast cancer, and we kept them clear of cancer since.
In West Wales, Dawn was invited to go one better. Gnosis treatment claims to use brain power rather than radio waves. For just £320, its inventor promised to think of Dawn 3 times a day. This alone would cure the leukemia.
And do I have to pay anything or
Yeah,
no?
£320 for the full course.
Yeah.
You never have to pay any more than that. That's the complete thing, one-off. That means if it takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to make a difference, We go and work until we get you right. You're the important person, not money.
It's true that if you go to one of these people, you're hoping for success. You're unlikely to blame them, I think, if things go wrong. You're unlikely to complain because they've helped you. And so an awful lot of these cases will simply go unnoticed, however tragic the results for the patients.
Dawn Clues has now spent more than a month travelling the country for our investigation. Their next appointment is in Harrow with John Carter, a vet who hit the headlines 2 years ago with a cure for cancer in pets. He was ready to give Dawn a 95% guarantee that he could cure the cancer she was pretending to have.
What I'm saying is I might be able to help you a bit with your cancer, that's what I'm saying. I think I can help you with your cancer.
Well, I mean, what essentially we're looking for is something that stands a reasonable chance of being as effective as chemotherapy, which we know is also not guaranteed.
Well, chemotherapy, not guaranteed, is 3% successful chemotherapy, 3% successful. My stuff's about 95% successful. 95? Yeah.
Pat Cowden leapt at Carter's 95% chance as she realised conventional treatment couldn't cure her lung cancer.
I felt that the treatment was pointless at best, and at worst it was actually making her condition much worse. Obviously not affecting the cancer at all beneficially, probably not making the cancer any worse either, but affecting her general health. She lost so much weight, she lost 3 stone during the time that she was ill. The treatment that she was being given, which was supposed to starve the cancer, was actually starving her.
Dawn made 2 visits to the vet. Carter was ready to dispense his so-called natural remedy without any physical examination or medical checks. As in Pat Cowden's case, he insisted the medicine be swallowed in front of him so none could be taken away.
In so many cases, there is no recognized cure. And if you are holding out that you have some treatment which has never been properly assessed by a formal research program that is going to cure patients, then you are setting up false hopes, and I would regard that as unethical.
This is Cancel, the liquid Elizabeth Marsh said could cure Dawn Clues' cancer. We had it independently analysed. In America, distribution of Cancel has already been banned.
The principal component in this is dihydroxybenzene, which is a phenol related to creosote. We have in fact looked further into the health and safety databases, and there are many entries against it.
So that makes it it's listed officially as a hazardous substance?
It's very hazardous, yes.
To put it bluntly, you'd be better off putting Cancel on your fence than drinking it. Doing that could cause vomiting, diarrhea and internal bleeding.
I'll dig out as much of the information as I can.
Little details Elizabeth Marsh leaves out in her pitch to Dawn Clues. It was a pitch that landed her in jail last May and could see her back behind bars again.
It digests the cells.
By administering or offering this particular substance, Cancel, to patients, she commits offences under the Medicines Act, because any substance where there is a claim that it treats or cures any medicinal complaint, that needs to be licensed. She obviously has completely disregarded what went on before, because if she is offering this substance again, she is committing offences under the Medicines Act.
Time for Dawn to go back to the vet for another dose of his unlicensed medicine. Again, John Carter insisted she drank it in front of him.
I have to give it to you in a drink every day.
Yeah. Right. Do you have to make it, is it not something we can take with us, or is it?
No, I have to make that
I see.
In the case of Pat Cowden, who died of lung cancer, that practice meant a long, distressing journey.
Instead of spending the last few months of her life peacefully at home with her family, having suitable care, she was spending all the time driving across London almost every day on this 2-hour journey that she found so upsetting, so stressful, to go and visit Mr. Carter's premises to get this medicine. She was ill, her health deteriorated, she had symptoms that weren't anything to do with her cancer. And I think the whole thing was quite a tragedy, really.
Unbeknown to Carter, Dawn managed to cough a little of his so-called medicine into a handkerchief. Back at our laboratory, the independent analyst put the concoction given to Dawn through the stiffest of tests.
We could find nothing there of any pharmaceutical significance. We could find traces of orange juice and the sort of fragments that you'd expect from orange pulp, but nothing else at all.
Mr. Carter, Roger Cook, Central Television. I'm here to ask you about your claims to cure cancer. Yes, Central Television. You are claiming to cure cancer.
I really can't talk about this now.
You can talk about it now. You talked to a patient that we put up in front of you, Mrs. Dawn Clues, to whom you said you had a cure.
Dawn Clues.
A patient who came into you and we secretly filmed you claiming to cure cancer.
Dawn Clues?
You claimed that while chemotherapy was only 3% effective, your cure was 95% effective. And it's an offence to claim to cure cancer.
I'm not claiming to cure cancer.
Oh yes, 95% effective isn't a cure then?
No, I'm doing research on this.
You said, and we have it on tape, that your cure was 95% effective, whereas chemotherapy was only 3% effective.
Well, I think chemotherapy is 3% effective, and my cure is, for carcinomas, it's about 95%.
Your cure, you used the word yourself, is 95%.
No, I didn't say the word cure, I said successful.
You just did.
No, the treatment is successful.
You've just said cure to me.
Well, that was I didn't mean to say that.
But this is an offence to claim to cure
I'm not
cancer.
claiming to...
And you're a vet, not a doctor.
I'm not claiming to cure cancer. I'm doing research on this.
You just did, and in fact, the potion you gave her, the medicine, turned out to be orange juice. Whatever it is, especially if it is the miracle cure he seems to believe it is, we would have been delighted to have repeated our analysis. This Carter refused to allow. One preliminary test was run by the Imperial Cancer Research Fund, but even then, he refused to have the liquid itself analysed. Back in her North London flat, Elizabeth Marsh has become Professor Marsh of Biotech Medical Electromagnomics. She's contacted Dawn to sell her one of these machines. It may have some legitimate uses, but certainly not for the treatment of cancer.
And it does benefit people, whether they've got cancer, Parkinson's disease, or what have you.
Marsh wants £15,000 for a machine similar to this and claims it helped keep her own breast cancer at bay. She's aiming for a fat profit of around £7,000 on this one deal.
We can't tell you that this is going to cure you of your cancer.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to. Even if it did, we're not allowed to.
I'm a safe using this going for chemotherapy.
167% safe.
And no side effects with this, like there are with
None.
chemo.
Oh, none. You won't feel anything. You might like to sort of...
She even suggested Dawn could cash in herself by treating other patients with the machine.
People who have got, who suffer from arthritis. It's tremendous arthritis.
There is no evidence whatever that electromagnetic field therapy is therapy for anything, and certainly nothing related to malignancy. I can tell you that there is no evidence linking electromagnetic field therapy with any benefit that I've heard of in cancer patients.
Mrs. Marsh, Roger Cook, Central Television. Isn't one jail sentence enough for you? Why are you trying to give false hope to people? Why are you providing us with danger... Leave it alone. Why are you providing us with CanCell, which is a dangerous material, second only to creosote? Why are you trying to peddle an electromagnetic machine, which is extremely dangerous in action? You know you're in trouble, don't you?
I think it's absolutely disgusting that it's going on, and I wished I'd have had the time to go round and get a lot more of them that are claiming to be doctors and what have you. I think it's disgusting. I'm glad I've done it for Amanda's sake.
You're just in it for the money.
I have told nobody anything.
Oh, you're just in it for the money. You're trying to charge us £15,000 for a piece of machinery which is absolute rubbish. And you know it is. Amanda Pierce will be with her family this Christmas, thanks to conventional medicine. Where might she have been had she put her trust in others?